Yeah. Hey, hey. Sorry for your loss. Look at what I bought. Paint like Bob Ross.
Hey guys, it's Brain here, and I have a story here for you guys, so let's get right into this. Alright, so today's story took place during Monday, late Monday at 11 o'clock, almost 12, and I was at a rest stop area because I was going back home from the trip to California, back home, and after heading outside of the bathroom after using it, I met this old homeless man, had a gray beard, was on a wheelchair, in a wheelchair, or whatever, excuse my grammar, sitting right there. And he started explaining how he used to be a physicist for the local government, or the federal government, I should say, during the Ronald Reagan era, and how he was the chief intelligence agency staff for global warming and etc. during the time, and how he had data and statistics to prove that global warming was real, chosen to the president in the era, which was in the 1970s, Ronald Reagan, I think. I'm not too sure about that because I'm not so good at history during the 1990s and 1960s and etc. But anyways, he showed that to the President Ronald Reagan. He already knew that global warming was real, but decided to keep it a secret from the public until right now, to this year, for everyone to seek the truth. And also during the 2000s of how they should believe if global warming is real or fake. And anyways, since he was doing that, he also was talking about how the government made his career end by breaking it during 2001 George W. Bush era, and how he's been living through rest areas since then, because they started spreading rumors about how he was crazy, how he was the worst and psychotic physicist, and how he was, just plain old crazy, and how he was doing everything wrong, going against physicist codes and science codes, breaking them, and etc. Because they didn't want him to tell the truth about what's really going on in the government. Not that it's corrupt. I mean, I'll get on to that later. But how during the 2001 and till now, and also I think to the 1970s, how the government's been playing with genetic engineering in food after the Hiroshima or Fukushima, nuclear explosion happened. How they started playing with food and engineering it and putting in radioactive elements into it to see and test if humans can, survive still from the radioactivity exposure in the food and still, eat it and be healthy. And that was happening through the United States, some parts of the West, like California, Oregon. And what was surprising, as soon as he said that, I was like, wow, so all this time I've been eating like yogurt and dairy products like milk that might contain radioactive elements, like I don't know any radioactive elements, but I forgot. I know some, but I forgot. But anyways, radioactive elements might have contained in the milk that I drink, the milk that everyone buys. Which I was shocked, because without the consent of the government, without the consent of Congress, without the consent of the U.S. president, because since he was there, he was talking about no one knew that that was going on during the Ronald Reagan till George W. Bush took over in 2001. And how this is still going on. The secret project is still going on. He kept telling me. And how no one knew this. Even the President of the United States himself didn't even know this. That this was happening secretly behind the lives of Americans and behind the government. Anyways, after he was done talking about that, he still talked about how Trump could be a foreign spy for Russia. Now, believe me, I know it sounded far-fetched, but when he actually explained through the whole thing, sort of the whole process of how that theory can be hold true, and with the evidence that he has collected throughout the years of working with the federal government, now it seems actually legitimately possible that Trump could be an actual foreign spy for Russia. You see, what he told me and the key importance of understanding how that possibility may be. Treason is a federal crime and can be punishable by death. And I was actually surprised that treason can be punishable by death. I kind of expected it to be like a full-time sentence for life, but no, it's automatically death if you betray the country, which I didn't know. So that was, I guess, good for me to know that. Never betray your own country. But anyways, as he was starting to say how treason is punishable by death by betraying the country, he started pointing out facts like how Trump was friendly towards Vladimir Putin. He was pro-Russia, wasn't that hostile like President Barack Obama when he took office with Russia. No, it was just, friendly terms, being Trump towards Vladimir Putin. And he even had a good point, which was when Trump met with the Russian president, how they had a 1 hour discussion, but it took 2 hours, which seemed kind of fishy, or at least kind of shady to me, which was actually a good point to make. But also, not just that, but when Trump denied any hacking from Russia, he just seemed to go with Russia's opinion how they did not hack the US election and how they just accepted the fact that Russia didn't have nothing to do with it and how maybe it could have been another country doing the affairs or meddling in the election of the 2016 presidential election. And another thing was how Donald Trump's son met with Russian lawyers who are not from the state, but just Russian lawyers in Russia, and met with them and talked about business. And he also talked to one of the major Russian businessmen who were in Russia and was pro Vladimir Putin and supported the Russian president's laws and achievements. Which was also a good point because if he visited Russia for like a business meeting and with another Russian who was a Russian tycoon and talking towards Trump, that may have changed his opinion and how he may have changed his thoughts on America, and maybe he got in contact with Vladimir Putin and how he could be a paid foreign spy for Russia in the US by just running for the presidential office for the United States, which actually has good supporting details and supporting opinions for it. I'm not gonna lie, that was actually good points brought up during that talk and supporting how Trump is a foreign spy. But not also that, he brought up another important clue and also maybe evidence that Trump could have been a foreign spy for Russia was how Donald Trump lately has been investigating how he can pardon people and pardon um, people who have committed like heinous crimes like murder or homicide or just like a kidnapping or something, just something and the federal criminal basically, and how he's been exploring the option of pardoning people, especially himself. He's asked himself questions about how can a president pardon someone from his own federal party and also his cabinet. Like imagine that. Like let's say someone in his cabinet did something controversial, like murder someone. Trump could just use his ability as president and pardon that member of his cabinet and just say, you know what, I pardon you, I forgive you. And just like that, everybody would be outraged. Well, anyways, guys, that's my opinion on that. That's the end of the story. And if you think everything I said was true, well, I hope you do. So I want the public to wake up because I think everything that he said was true. So, guys, if you liked today's video, please give it a like. And if you're new, subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Gotta watch out when I start. On the contrary.